Hello, beautiful humans. It's Adria. Well, I'm sharing with you something that is as yet unpublished for a new book of mine. It's a secret right now, but I was trained in my life. As you know, it's been a very rich and very long life so far. I was trained to find the pain and not the joy. And I was trained that love, real love, doesn't exist. And after a while, I was able to get kind of a Elvis curve to my lip and say, love, shmov, who needs it? Well, as the universe often does to me, it came along and this time bopped me gently on the head and said, if you think there isn't love, well, hey, baby, check this out. Or as I said, hold tight, kittens. Mama Cat has a story for you. With this ring, I thee wed. So, as you know, I was an opera singer, musical theater performer for over half my life. I traveled the world, but I had to leave the United States to go find my voice. And I went to Milano to study, and I lived in a convent. Yes, I lived in a convent, and there hangs another tale. I've got so many stories to tell you. Oh my goodness. So I was searching for my voice, and I found a ring that for me symbolizes the be-all and end-all of what love truly is. When I first went to Milano to study voice and music, my aunt gave me the name of a family friend, Jerry Cook. He was a commander in the U.S. Navy and was just about to retire and come back to the States. Jerry sent me a great letter, and I noticed it had an Enrico Caruso stamp, and I thought, how considerate and how unusual. Well, Jerry invited me down to sunny Naples. He was living in Pozzuoli, and that's where Sophia Loren was born. And he was the buyer for the commissary at the naval base at Agnano. It was a lovely invitation, but I was in Italy to study, not really to travel, so I had no intention nor the finances for sightseeing. Well, destiny stepped in. Destiny stepped in the form of my teacher, who said, "You're sick again." I didn't know I had a million allergies. I had no idea at the time. "So you're sick again, go to Naples, you'll have a great time." And I said, but, Adria, you can't sing. Adria, non si può cantare così. And if you can't sing like this, go to Naples. I said, okay. I put on my best martyr costume and I sacrificed myself to go to Naples. Well, I took a train to Bella, Napoli, and from the minute I laid eyes on Jerry, I knew I'd met a kindred spirit. He lived up to his name and gave me an incredibly concentrated cook's tour of both Pompeii and Ercolano in one day. If you've ever been to Italy, you know that that's an impossibility. So he knew everything about both sites. After a while, my brain was just fried. But he was Jerry, and he was an art history brainiac who longed to share all he knew. He took me to Capri and then to Anacapri, where less than a year later, we had an intimate wedding party at Casa Caprile. All right, so I've set the stage. Jerry, before he met me, was going to marry this lovely woman, and he had actually purchased a set of wedding bands from an artist named Germano, and it was the lost wax process, beautiful, like antique, but yet a very modern shape that this Germano, and Jerry was a friend of his, so he bought these rings, and those beautiful rings purchased for someone else became our wedding rings. Because Jerry and I decided literally the second time we met each other that we knew we were going to get married. So just over 5 years into the marriage, Jerry and I had returned to the States, and I decided to spread my wings and go to New York. Our divorce was painful for both of us. But as Jerry said, in the few years that follows, you and your danged notes, we became the dearest of friends. He was a wonderful human, a truly wonderful human. I married again, and so did Jerry. His new wife engraved her initials into Jerry's wedding band, the same that he had purchased from Germano. I had to sell my beautiful wedding band because no matter how hungry you are, you can't eat gold. I needed food to continue my trek through the canyons of Manhattan, searching for the elusive chimera of life upon the wicked stage. Life went on. We eventually divorced our new spouses, and our friendship continued until that horrific day when Mom called me sobbing. Jerry had fallen over and died in her kitchen. I flew to her side, and as Jerry was an only child, as I was, Mom was devastated and bedridden. While sitting in her room, she asked me to bring her a wooden box that was on her dresser. She took out Jerry's wedding band and pressed it into my hand, saying, "I know how much Jerry loved you. He would have wanted you to have this ring." So since that day, it has never left my hand. It is an incredible symbol to me of what love really is. These rings were bought for another woman. My part of the set sadly sold. Jerry's ring carved with another woman's initials. And finally, with Jerry's love and through his mother, came back to me. Isn't that an astounding circle? So I, with all of my cynicism about love, have had the symbol and the proof that not death, not distance, not marriage, not being apart, nothing can end love when two souls collide. So, darlings, that's what I wish for you. I wish you love that surrounds you like the circle of this ring. And remember that the very first person that you must fall in love with is you. I worked very hard to be able to say those words and to be able to live those words. So I really do wish you love. I want you to be surrounded by it. And you may find it in the most unexpected places. So it's Adria Firestone, speaker, author, coach, saying I'll see you later. Alligator. Bye-bye.